This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Lowco sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett here, joined as always by Wes Kerr, talking local sports here in the South Carolina Lowcountry, and we've got a special guest to lead us off. We will later on get to some headlines from around the area, including new AD at Whale Branch, softball coach at Bluffton High School, baseball coach in Hampton County. We got a bunch of hirings. We'll reflect on the Carlisle Cup standings, a couple of offers that went out, including a commitment to USCB baseball, as well as a golf update. And I'll talk a little bit more about our trip to Cooperstown for folks who missed the Lowco Diamond Dudes. But up first, we are going to have our friend Alex Percival, former Ridgeland Jaguar, three-sport standout. Now he is up in Atlanta, but he's organizing the Lowcountry Legacy alumni basketball tournament. We had him on the Hoops Report a while back, but I'd like to welcome him back to the show, Alex. And I know you're having a little bit of tech issues with the camera, so bear with us if Alex's audio and video don't match up. But just hear what he has to say, because what's going on, man? You're getting close to your big event here that we're trying to help you out with coming up July 29th out in Hardyville. Last I checked with you, we had four teams signed up, alumni teams. But give us an update on where things stand as we're just about a month out now.
Yeah, thanks, Justin, again for bringing me back and to be a part of the podcast. And you too, Wes. Thank you as well. But yeah, Lowco Legacy basketball tournament is July 29th. Right now, we have about 5 teams that we're confirming right now, but it's still going to be a great event. Yeah, we have, like I said, schools from Hampton County, Beaufort County, Jasper County that are going to be involved. So we're really excited to have everybody in the community, come out and support. And
I think this is really cool.
enjoy themselves and kick end the summer off the right way.
Go ahead there, Wes.
Yeah, I think this is really cool that you're putting this on. It'll be nice to see, some former faces that we've been seeing playing the Lowco for a few years back, and now get to see him again as alumni. That's pretty cool. Tell me more about some of the teams and maybe some of the players that we might see balling over there at the end of this month.
Yeah, so we have, I went to West. I caught answering it correctly, but so yeah, I graduated from Ridgeland High School, but I also attended Jasper County High School as well. So I had the opportunity to play with a lot of great talent out there. From Ridgeland High, we have Sayon Furby, who was my dominant big guy when I was there. We have Jatari Williams. We have Ransom. We have from Ridgeland, from Jasper, from the old Jasper, we have Quentin Brown, Dominique Jones, Shakira White, Jamanda Smalls. We have a plethora of talent from the Jasper County side. Yeah, a lot of these names are household names, and some people haven't seen them since high school, so this would be a great opportunity for them to.
Yeah, I remember Jamanda Smalls.
See them showcase what they still got. Hopefully, it's enough to get up and out. Yeah,
I remember Jamanda Smalls playing for that Hardyville team that played for a state championship back in the day. So Hardyville High School, short-lived, but had some really great teams there, especially those girls basketball teams. So and we have been working on formalizing a partnership with Hospice Care of the Lowcountry to try to get them more involved and help us spread the word about this thing. Looking forward to working with them. They do great work, and a friend of mine and a couple of friends of mine work there, and then a classmate of yours as well. So, and then you have some other charitable endeavors that you've tied into this with some school supply drives and some different things like that. So tell us a little bit more about the things you're doing to give back to the community through this event.
Of course, and that's probably the biggest thing that I want to take away from this tournament is just what we're trying to do for the community. Like you mentioned, Justin, we're giving away back to school supplies to the kids that are going back to school. Literally, I think in a week or so from the tournament. So it's great for that. Also, we're focusing on just speaking and bringing up the conversation about mental health and the importance of that. Especially in the community of Jasper County and Beaufort County and just in the surrounding areas. That conversation isn't always had. Whether it's in the household or in school. So this is just another opportunity for me myself. To give a platform for those who need that voice or who need to be heard as well. So we're looking forward to also raising awareness on that. And amongst other different initiatives that we're doing. So it's going to be an impactful event. I'm very excited and very enthusiastic about this event that we're putting on. So great causes.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, basketball, it's fun to see some of these, guys get back out there and show what they got. But I think, it really all comes down to what you're doing to give back to the community through the back to school supply event. That's always so important, especially when you get to these last few weeks. And a lot of these kids, I mean, it's not easy to get all the supplies that you need for the school year and be able to provide all those materials that these kids need to have a successful year academically. That's everything. And just love to get support. And then mental health, it's so important. Everybody has struggles with that. And, it's important to be, open to, those feelings and to take care of yourself mentally. It's very, very important quality to have. So both great causes. Tell me how excited you are about hosting this event, how the planning evolved to get everyone together to host and get on the same page to come over here and have this celebration of the talent that we've accumulated around here in the Lowco, and to see some of the bygone stars. We mentioned a couple, but just see them all back there. As a basketball fan, as a Lowcountry sports fan myself, that's a really special moment for me.
Yeah, man. I totally agree, Wes. Just being able to bring all these old players back, and whether they played decades ago, whether they played a few years ago, just being able to bring all these classes back, and that's why I named the tournament Lowcountry Legacy. Because that's really what it's all about. The planning and everything that went into this, it started as an idea, and I've always wanted to do something in the Jasper County area, just in the Lowcountry area, just in general, because that's part of my history as well. So I always wanted to do something positive, and what other way, I would be able to do that is through the power of sports. And, that's one platform that you can have total strangers come together at one place and just cheer on their team and don't know each other from a can of paint, but they leave the game friends or colleagues somehow because they have a common interest. But I feel like with my influence and with the people that I've known in the community, I couldn't do this by myself. And as much as I feel like I can, it's not possible. So I've had help along the way, but the planning and just everything, like the fun, the bare bones, the landscape, everything. I came up with that, and I just sat down and kind of said, "Hey, what would this look like? What would a tournament that we can do in the Lowcountry that they will remember and they will want to continue to have in the area?" So this is where we're at now, and it's amazing to see how soon and how quick it's here already. Started planning all the way in December and January, earlier this year. So for it to be July already, and we're coming up on 30 days until that day here is so surreal, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, and as often is when you try something new, you take a big swing. It doesn't always go like you planned. And you had, I think, 8 teams signed up at one time, and
Yeah,
a couple of them ended up backing out. So I think you're down to 4. But hopefully, the ones who play, have a great time and make the others get a little FOMO that they missed out by dropping out. And they'll get back in there next
man.
year because we got to get
Oh
some
yeah.
pressure on some of these schools. They got to come represent. You can't just let somebody else take the championship without a fight.
Hey, I mean, if winners win. So if you want to be a winner, you got to be at least in the fight. So
Amen to that.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring all the schools together that want to be involved. We're still working on a 5th school. So right now we do have 4, but we're working on a 5th. So I will have to tweak, the bracket, but the more the merrier. So hopefully we can get the word out. And like I told, Drew the other day, I was like, hey, we're going to set the standard in July. Going forward, they see what we're doing, so we'll make them a believer.
That's right. You got to start
absolutely
somewhere.
will. And I'm really excited for the show that you guys are going to put on. Just a little less than a month away, as you mentioned, it's coming up fast. July 1st is tomorrow, and this summer is flying by. But really excited and looking forward to what you guys are going to do in a few weeks. But we're in the process of naming our all area teams or all Lowco teams for this past high school basketball season. We talked about some of the best 4 players, but let's talk a little bit about the current group of stars, because we had a lot this past year, both on the boys and girls side. How much of high school basketball were you able to watch this year, and how impressed were you about the talent that we had?
Well, I was able to catch a few games. With me living in Atlanta, I'm not as accessible to, attending every game or as many games as I would like. But the talent is definitely continuing in the county. I think the game that I met you at, Justin, was the Wade Hampton and Ridgeland game.
Yeah.
To say the least, that wasn't the best game to attend, but it was great to still be in the environment and see old faces and just kind of be just submerged by just all the memories and things that I've shared with other people throughout the years. But coaching staff, the teams, they're all in good hands. We just continue to recruit hard and breed winners. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I mean that school had some serious setbacks. Taking the year off in COVID really set them back. A lot of their programs and some kids transferred out, and that made things difficult. But I actually thought that night against Wade Hampton, they played tough, man. Wade Hampton was just really good, and they were like as good as I've seen them that night. They were locked in, and Ridgeland just couldn't keep up with them. But I thought they played tough that night. I was impressed with their kids this year. But thanks so much, Alex, for everything you're doing. I know you're still looking for sponsors, starting at $500, right? Going up to $1,000. I mean, you can go over 1,000 certainly, but you got packages at 500, 750, and 1,000. So really something that a lot of small businesses in the community should be able to support, get their name out there. You're going to have opportunities for them to be on site and do some marketing and things like that to the crowd. So, if you'd like to be a sponsor, certainly we can be a go-between to Alex. But Alex, you can also give your information here. And if they want to get in touch with you, we'll get them signed up to sponsor this thing.
Of course. You can reach me on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Lowcountry Legacy Hoops. You can also email us at lowcountry.legacy1@gmail.com if you have any questions or inquiries. You got 2 ways to get in touch with us. So if you have any questions, we're here to help. Whether small or large, we'll be appreciative for anything you do.
Yes, sir. So Lowcountry Legacy Basketball on Facebook, or you can hit them up at lowcountry.legacy1@gmail.com and get in touch about that sponsorship. Or if you can't come up with that in a pinch, hit us up at LowcoSports.com and we'll get you the information over there and get you in touch with Alex, and get you to be a part of this Lowcountry Legacy, the inaugural Lowcountry Legacy basketball tournament, because I have no doubt we're going to have many more to come. It's going to become an annual occurrence. So thanks so much, Alex. As I say every time, it was really a blessing to meet you that night over at Ridgeland, and grateful that we crossed paths and are hooking up to team up on this, and hopefully many more things in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys again for having me.
All right, Alex, we'll let you go, man. Enjoy your night.
Will do.
Wes, great guy, Alex Percival. Excited about what he's doing with this tournament. I think it's going to be really cool. And it's like I said, you take a swing, and sometimes it doesn't go exactly like you planned it, but you just get out there and you do it, and you make the adjustments for the next time, try to make it bigger and better next year. And I think he's got a great starting point that is going to lead to something that really people look forward to every year. So going to be cool stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great memory for so many. Myself, as a longtime basketball fan, I'm sure you as well, but this entire community. And I think, as I said, I think the biggest factor is doing all those things on the side to make a difference in the community, because that's what really drives people to come and support and to be a part of it. When we're having those back to school drives, having those having other companies be a part of it, and providing some support and advertising their products to get their name out. It's a community event, and obviously basketball is the focus, but there are much bigger things, as you said. So the mental health efforts, that's so valuable to so many of us. So doing some great things. So we thank Alex for taking this on. It is not easy to get something like this off the ground, and obviously there's going to be kinks to sort out this first time, and you take what you learn from that, and you make it better the next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. So it's a process. We know that. I mean, look what's happened with it reminded me of they call it the basketball tournament, the national tournament, where you have all those college alumni, kind of modeled similarly to that. We see how that is involved as well, and how it's become such a huge event now in the summer. And but just my point, I mean, it's just like that, seeing like former college stars playing once again under their college name. It's really cool, to see these guys who have made themselves big stars decades ago, years ago, and now come back to show what they still got. It always gives me chills to see those old guys back out there, and to reminisce on old times, and to do good things for the community. So all in all, a great event. Really great to have Alex be a part of this and take this on and spearhead it, and really looking forward to seeing how it goes. Fortunately, I'll be away that week, but definitely will be excited to see how this first one goes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what all goes down, and I know he's got food trucks and DJ and all that stuff lined up. So it's going to be a party. I mean, like you said, the basketball's a part of it, but that's only a part of it. It's going to be a community event and a party and a good time for everybody. So come out on July 29th to the Hardyville Rec Center and check out the Lowcountry Legacy Alumni Basketball Tournament. And once again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, you can get in touch with us, and we will get you through to Alex if you didn't catch his contact info. But we got some news to dispense with, Wes, and we'll start with a couple of hires. Whale Branch finally found the AD to replace Carlos Cave. He moved over to the district AD role around the start of basketball season, I want to say. And, they had been looking for the right fit there. It's really hard in between cycles. Everybody's on an annual contract, so they kind of had to just roll with the interim situation. But I really like the hire they've made with Casey Sullivan. She comes from South Mecklenburg High School up in Charlotte, where she was the AD, but she's a Lowcountry native. She's from Somerville, went to Fort D, 3-sport standout, threw for the Carolina track and field team for the Gamecocks, then went back and worked around Charleston at Academic Magnet, Fort D, and at Woodland, where she was an assistant AD and coached track and field and volleyball, I believe. And she is going to be the new AD at Whale Branch. And, I really like this hire. Obviously, a wealth of experience, but also a breadth of experience across many sports. Has done it at the college level, has has worked at all different sizes of high schools. I think this is a slam dunk hire, it would appear on paper, for Whale Branch.
And they've been doing so many good things with these hires, starting at the coaches that have been a part of Whale Branch and the ADs. Carlos Cave did an amazing job, and now Casey Sullivan certainly fitting the bill of someone who's going to continue. Those previous athletic directors have started here. Just the Seabrook culture of Whale Branch is such a unique one for a 1A school. The talent that they've been able to produce and all the success they've had on the field and the court, etc. You don't see that very often for a 1A school, and I think Casey Sullivan being a part of some bigger schools, some bigger programs. You mentioned having that college experience, and then being at Fort Dorchester, a huge program in South Carolina high school athletics, in South Mecklenburg in North Carolina, also another very big program up there. So obviously a ton of very valuable experience that she can translate over to this new venture here at Whale Branch, and obviously going to bring a couple different challenges. 1A school's never easy, but we've seen it been done before, and there's a great culture that has been instilled here. Just the whole community, the fans really enjoy being a part of it, and you just look at all the fantastic, memories that have been made there throughout these last few years by the Whale Branch Warriors, and it's a team culture. It starts at the top, and Sullivan's going to be a great part of that, and it goes down to the coaches, it goes down to student athletes, the fans, to the parents. It's just a really well-run school and a well-run academic program. And I think Casey Sullivan is a perfect hire to continue the outstanding culture that has been established here. And, her being herself like a 3-sport star, having that, knowledge of what it takes to cultivate those successful championship caliber athletes. I think they hit this one out of the park, and really excited to see what Casey Sullivan does over down here in the Lowco and coming back here to the Lowco, working for Whale Branch Warriors.
Yeah, I think it's a great hire there. Looking forward to catching up with her. Already reached out to try to get her on the podcast and talk about her journey and coming back to the Lowcountry. So congratulations to Casey Sullivan. Congratulations to Whale Branch on getting that hire squared away. And another hire, Bluffton softball going to stay in-house and named Rachel Zedes the head coach. She was the assistant the last couple of years under William Rose. Played at Ryder. She was the starting shortstop for a while there. Had a nice career there, and has been coaching volleyball and softball for a couple of years at Bluffton. And I know Coach Rose was really hoping that they would go with her. She was the interim pick, and she gets the job full time. Again, seems like the right call there. They had a really good culture there. It was a rough season due to injury, but a really good culture there. She seems to really have the respect of the team, and it looks like a great choice to move forward.
And I think the internal hire was the right decision here to, keep Rachel Zedes and promote her to this head coaching role. And, it's been a great last couple of years left the softball program, and we've seen all the young women who have now moved on to earning opportunities to play in college. A lot of that has to do with the coaches believing in them and pushing them to work their hardest and be at their best. And now Zedes gets this opportunity to take over the reins of what's looking like a very strong future. Obviously, a lot of losses for this Bluffton team. You look at Alyssa Rose, you look at Parker Ray, some others that have made such important contributions to this Bluffton team. But, she's been coaching volleyball and softball, and has been a math teacher. So we cannot thank her enough for her impact academically for these kids, and then having the time and just the passion on the side to make such an enormous difference in the athletic careers of these kids, and helping them achieve their dreams, playing college, earning those scholarships, or just finding a great sense of community and camaraderie by playing a high school sport. There's, even if you don't go to the college level, there's so many benefits of that. So I think Zedes is very much primed for this role, and I think it's a fantastic choice for this Bluffton program that has been doing some good things. Obviously, injury, some tough injury luck this season, but that core of girls, especially those seniors, man, that was a special group, and Zedes definitely had a role in cultivating it.
Yeah, no question. And going back and looking through like B-roll video from the season to look for something to use about that announcement the other day, I noticed like she's in there a lot. She was coaching first base. She's in the huddle a lot. She was already kind of a vocal leader for that team. And, I'm sure some of that is Coach Rose kind of recognizing that it's going to be his last year and letting her take a little bit more of the reins and start to take on those responsibilities. And she certainly seems ready to tackle that new job. So, and then we got one more hire, Hampton County naming their baseball coach, who is also going to be their co-offensive coordinator and special teams coach for that football team. Chris Knight coming down from South Aiken, where I think he had basically the same role. But he's going to come on and teach social studies, head baseball coach, co-offensive coordinator, and special teams coordinator for Hampton County football. And he will assist with the strength program, which, looking at his picture, it looks like he knows a little something about the strength program. Dude's pretty well built. He played baseball at USC Sauk and Augusta State, graduate of Midland Valley High School. So you've got a guy who comes with a good amount of experience, both as a player and a coach. And, I have the ultimate faith in Rob Hanna. That guy has made some really excellent hires. He's really built a good staff there. And if Chris Knight's his guy, then I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I love it. I love the direction that this athletic program is heading as they get ready for, that special first season. I'm already counting the days for that first Friday Night Lights kickoff coming up next month. Basically tomorrow's the first day of July, but yeah, next month we're jumping right into high school football, and Hampton County our new team this year, combining Estill and Wade Hampton, and just really so excited to kick that one off. But what a great hire here. Chris Knight can do some good things with that baseball program, and having a good strength trainer. That's everything, especially for that football team. That's where, the differences are made in the offseason, in the spring, just to get that little bit stronger. That it's worth its weight in gold when you get back out there on the field in the fall, and even just practice late summer, early fall, to have that kind of that hard work mentality and that strength built up within you when you get ready for a new season. So I think he's going to provide a lot of great resources, and you mentioned the passion, just the enthusiasm that he had. That's everything. To have that love of what you're doing, and to be someone who will always provide the extra motivation and that excitement for these kids to go that extra length to be at their best. And so I think Chris Knight, certainly well schooled at what he's already done. He's already proven himself as a veteran of the sport. He's coached baseball, he's played baseball, and coached football as well. So he really checks all the boxes. Someone who is well prepared, but it's never easy to take a role like this to jump into a program's first season. But I have the feeling that you have some talented players on both of these schools merging into one, and I think he's going to be pumped up for this opportunity to be a part of history and to take the reins of a program starting out its first season. So obviously, I expect there to be a little bit of growing pains as maybe see as players that have come together the first time. Although, I mean, you look at potentially some club teams and travel ball, so I'm sure these kids know each other very well. I think they'll come together quickly, and I'm excited to see how this team progresses early. And of course, football season is going to be part as well. Co-offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, and I'm sure he's getting pumped up for what's going to be a very special first season with a lot of talent over there for the Hampton County Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them kick it off at Colleton County in that opener. Definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be weird to go up there and see everything painted blue instead of red, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing getting into that stadium again this season and seeing what those guys have. And that Wade Hampton baseball team had some good young talent, and so I think Hampton County is going to be well set up there as well. And obviously the basketball teams are going to be outstanding. So going to be a fun season over there in Hampton County. Wes, let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and wrap up the show with the Carlisle Cup standings, final Carlisle Cup standings, as well as some recruiting news and a little golf. And we'll talk a little bit more about Cooperstown coming up after the break here on the Loco Sports Lowdown.
Hey, Loco sports fans. This podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Loco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Loco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Loco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Loco Sports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of Loco Sports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Loco Sports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Loco Sports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of Loco Sports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Loco sent you, because every referral helps support Loco Sports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Loco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of Loco Sports. They sling some of the best pies in the Loco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of Loco Sports. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of LowcoSports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports, and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of LowcoSports.com. Go Loco!
And I am back, and there's Wes. I don't know how Wes got out of there, but Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, back on the Loco Sports Lowdown, talking local sports here in the South Carolina Lowcountry. And Wes, we just wrapped up the high school sports season, of course, last month, and It is still June, so it was last month. And Buford High coming out with the highest finish of the Lowco squads in the Carlisle Cup standings, which kind of quantify the whole school year. They award points for state championships, state runner-up. I think it's how far you go in the playoffs by sport, and tally them all up, see who had the best overall sports program. Buford 7th in Class 3A, of course, buoyed by that state championship in the fall, had runner-up finishes for boys golf and boys soccer in the spring. Baseball had a good run. They had a bunch of teams that had solid runs. Just, across the board, really a solid year for Buford. And Link Lyles thinks that's the highest they've ever finished of it. Who knows? I'm sure Herbert Glaze would pull out some handwritten records from some other year and tell us that's not true. But it's nonetheless a very good finish for them. And then May River 8th and Hilton Head 9th in Class 4A. Anytime you get in the top 10 in this thing, like you had a pretty good year,
what I think the biggest
as an athletics department.
I think the biggest takeaway is
What's
4
that?
teams for Region 7 4A finishing the top 9. You got Lucy Beckman 2nd. You got James Island 7th, May River 8th, and Hilton Head 9th. Wow.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Yeah, that is remarkable. I mean, and you think about what that really means is you're not just good at the visible sports, but you're good at everything. You've got a solid tennis team, you've got a golf team, you field teams and all these things that qualify for the postseason and play in the postseason. And really, I mean, that's what high school athletics is about, right? I mean, we're trying to provide opportunity for as many kids as possible to be involved in that atmosphere. And so if you're fielding that many competitive teams, you're really serving your student body well, giving them a lot of opportunity, and that's an awesome thing. And certainly, we talk a lot about iron sharpens iron. When you got 4 of the top 10 in Class 4A in there, it's not easy. It's easy then to see why we get to the end of the postseason and we're going, well, it could be 3 Region 7 girls soccer teams in the Final Four. Like it happens pretty frequently in a number of sports because of that high standard across the board. So awesome stuff for all those schools. Hilton Head had a state title as well with girls tennis. May River, I don't think May River had a team state title this year, right? But for them to finish 8th, that says a lot. That says a lot,
across the board. And even some of the sports, like softball had a nice postseason run. They made it pretty far. Boys soccer,
girls soccer went further than they'd ever gone.
That was fantastic. So,
and the girls golf has always gotten May River some healthy points too. So takes everybody. You know, I mean, it's that's what I like about the Carlisle Cup. It really is. It puts everything kind of on equal footing, and it's not all about football and basketball. So good stuff for all of our local schools there, and the rest of them, we keep fighting to try to crack that top 10. We got a little recruiting news, Wes. Tucker Tevapaw, the nationally touted punter at Hilton Head Christian Academy, picked up an offer from Arkansas State, I saw on Twitter the other day. And then Devin Yard, another HHCA kid, Hooper, picking up an offer from the hometown squad, USCB. Saw a picture of her and Sharon Versip on campus. Surprised they got Devin on campus. She's hardly ever in town with H2. They're in a different state every week, it seems like, looking on Twitter. But good stuff for both of these two who no doubt these two are going to play at the next level.
Yeah, I just was writing something today for Prep Red Zone about, Tucker and his terrific abilities out there on the football field. And, that's a guy that has come down here. And not only is he one of the best punters in his class in the country, but he's also, a terrific defensive back and free safety. And that guy just works his tail off. He came with a couple of big interceptions last year for the Hilton Head Christian Academy team. And, man, that's just one of those guys who makes an entire team better with that level of dedication and hustle on the field. And, just great to see himself get rewarded with an offer like that. I'm excited to see what he does in his senior year for the Eagles. But that's one of those, glue guys that does a little bit for you everywhere, especially in skis of football. When you have guys playing to both sides of the ball or some of the special teams as well. That's someone who you're going to rely upon a lot for the Eagles squad.
Yeah, and I think he's a great fit at a Skeeza school because, I mean, some kids you would say like, "Hey, you got a chance to get recruited. You need to go play against the best so you can get seen." But punting, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. The hang time is the hang time is the hang time, and the yardage is the yardage is the yardage. So it doesn't really matter what the competition is. He gets to go play on a team where he can also be a dude, and play a little linebacker or safety and get in on offense some and be the punter. So he's kind of getting the best of all worlds right now, but he's going to be a specialist when he gets to college. I'll guarantee you that. But how about Devin? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, Devin, I mean, I've watched her for a number of years now. These last 3 years, I mean, it's been remarkable to see her growth out there. I mean, someone with just a variety of skill sets and a phenomenal point guard, all the way around with her ability to drive the rim and then just her vision to, spot the open man. And then her shot has gotten a lot better as well. I think she's really started to nail that shot. So she's really putting it all together as an elite point guard out of here. And what an awesome experience it would be to see her, stay in the Lowco and see her progress from further. That would be a treat for myself. And then, be coached potentially by, one of the greatest legends in the last couple decades of women's college basketball. So that would be an extraordinary experience for her. But obviously, we'll see where she ends up. But that's really cool, to see her with one of the best we've ever witnessed coach women's basketball, and to have her right here in the Lowco. I mean, that's such a plus recruiting wise, and start a program. It gives you so much legitimacy. So I'm really getting excited. It's crazy to think we're just a couple months away from the inaugural men's and women's hoop season at USCB College Hoops here in the Lowco.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And talking to Alex about, time flying by, I can't believe it's almost July. That felt like so far away when they announced the coaches. And now here we are. Those kids will be on campus in just, a little over a month, and we'll be preparing for that season. So getting to know those kids. So that's really exciting. I could hear while you were talking about that, our friend Rob Benson saying, "Fellas, Devin's not going to USCB. The Ivies are on Devin." Okay. Like, no, nothing against USCB, but her academics are stellar. I think she has her heart set on parlaying her basketball skill into an elite education. And that's the path I would guide her toward 100 times out of 100 with a kid with her combination of talents. But certainly it's nice to have that hometown school in your back pocket too, because you never know. I mean, you're an 17, 18-year-old kid and you start thinking about moving all the way up to the Northeast and being that far from home, and maybe your heart isn't there. So, I wouldn't discount it completely. She seemed pretty happy in the photo to be there, and I think it's her first offer officially. So, that always holds a special place in your heart too. That first one who actually took that step and said, "I want you to come play here." Sometimes that'll be enough to swing the hammer. So we'll see what happens. But I think definitely she's destined for good things wherever she goes. And speaking of USCB, you had another commitment. I saw that come across Twitter as well. Aiden Cooper committing to the baseball team. I'm guessing you've done a little research. What do you got on it?
Yeah, Aiden Cooper, he is looking like someone who's going to fit in really well with this USCB team. I'm really impressed by the way that Ted Faulkner has been able to, build this program and attract some. And I think it says a lot about the transition that they've worked so hard on to get to this next part of the journey. I mean, you mentioned how you guys were envisioning that leap to Division II. Now you're seeing the fruits of that payoff, and really excited to see what we get with him as he gets ready to be a part of this team. And coming from Raleigh, from Lewisburg Junior College, now heading over to USCB, so already getting that collegiate experience. He looks the part of someone who's excited to be here, and I think he has that passion he mentions all the hurdles that he had to go through to get to this part, and just thanking his coaches and teammates. That's what it's all about. And he looks like someone and he's also a fantastic student. He was named to the Region 10 all academic team. So, that's someone who gets it done both on the field and in the classroom. That's always someone you want your player to have. And he's, from what I'm seeing with him, he's got a couple of really strong, pitches in his arsenal to build on this staff, which I thought produced pretty well here for USCB last year, this past season. So he looks like someone who's going to fit the part of a guy who's going to work hard, whether it's in the weight room or on the field during practice. And, it's great to see some guys come in from, all over and to have that respect of what we could see for this not just baseball program, but for softball, of course, for basketball, and for cross country, track, golf, etc. I think it's only going to get even more exciting as we progress towards that this full on Division II. Obviously, they're going to have a couple years where they won't be postseason eligible, but for these new guys, it's a kind of goal to reach towards, because you're going to get these couple of years to develop. And then after that, you're going to have the opportunity to compete for a championship down the road. So it kind of, puts it on perspective of, you're developing first. Obviously, you want to win. You have to play to win. You play games to win. You play to win the games, as they say. But I think development's a big aspect, especially of a program that is, transitioning towards this new era. And I think he's going to be a big part of that. And, it's great to see the talent continue to come in here and continue to grow. And I think Ted Faulkner's doing a great job. I think, the lumps will come. And what we saw last year was a product of playing some tougher teams. It wasn't going to be easy going from the NAIA to Division II, and definitely took their lumps this year, but still they learned a lot from it. And I think everyone's going to use that to continue to strive even better when you get to those bright lights in a couple of years and leave this program better than you found it. So I think Abe's a great addition, and looking forward to seeing how this program continues to build.
Looked like they picked up a dude recently too. The Josh Herbert kid looks like a beast. Big, strong kid. But I mean, you knew they were kind of going to take their lumps for a couple of years, and the only way you can really get through that is by going and getting just like mercenary third chance guys, so because who else wants to come and not be able to play for a championship and those kinds of things, so you almost have to just understand that it's not going to be for everybody. And the guys who can stick it out, and the guys who jump in the portal, so be it. It wasn't the right vibe for them or whatever. You need builders. You need a certain kind of person. And I think one way to go about that is just say, hey, for those couple of years, we're going to recruit a ton of high school kids, and we're going to, throw them in the fire, and we're going to develop them. And then when it's time to make the transition, we're going to go get the guys we need to put around them. We're going to see what we got, and then we're going to get in the portal and get the JUCO guys and put some people around them that fit. And I have a feeling that that's kind of the tack that Faulkner took is, we're gonna roll with the guys we got and see what happens these 2 years, and then we'll go get the reinforcements. You're starting to those come in the recruiting, and hopefully it all pans out this year and they put it back together and have a solid season. But I think Brian Meyer's a great guy to build around. I've talked to him a good bit in the off season, at travel tournaments when he's an umpire, and he seems to really like, what's happening there, and feels like they've got a good group of guys going forward. So excited to see what happens there. But one other note, Wes, is on the golf course. Andrew Swanson, May River graduate, now playing at Clemson. He made the quarterfinals up at the North and South Amateur prestigious tournament up in Pinehurst, and he and Jonathan Grizz, Hilton Head Prep alum and Alabama golfer, both made it through to the match play, top 32. Grizz was the 3 seed, tied for second in the stroke play. Swanson tied for 6th and was the 8 seed. But Grizz got knocked out in round one. Swanson got through round one in 19 holes. This morning, he went 23 holes to get through his second match, and then he ran out of steam against the top seed, who's playing at home there in Pinehurst. But great run for Swanson, and nice showing for Grizz as well as the summer amateur season rolls on.
Yeah, that's a grind. A lot of tournaments, a lot of opportunities to get better, but that amateur format where you got to play a bunch of match play tournaments through a bracket of 32 players, you got to play a lot of golf, and if we have to go a bunch of extra holes, you eventually run out of steam. So, great effort there to get to that point, to get to the quarterfinals. But especially when you have against a top player like that, that's a tough task. But still an excellent run there for Andrew Swanson, who has had a really good start to his career at Clemson. Of course, you mentioned he won back in the fall for the Tigers, so an individual win there. And so that's always nice to have that one in your back pocket early on in your career. And, remember last year he made it to the U.S. Open qualifying, and he was close to being in contention to qualify in the second 18. So he's been up there. I mean, he has certainly had he's definitely had some ups and downs throughout his career so far, but he's had a couple of nice highs. And every golf career, we talk about Bryson, we talk about some of the others. There's a lot of peaks, a lot of valleys. It's all about staying consistent and having that strong mental mindset. And I think he's done a good job of that. And there's still a lot more golf left to play over there at Clemson. But great seeing him, seize and take advantage of the opportunities that he's gotten, especially, after the senior year at May River, where he maybe thinking he could have performed a little better, but then coming to a fresh environment at the college level where the competition is heightened, he's really stepped up and put up some really nice results in some big tournaments. So,
and anybody who's studied like the growth curve, it's not a straight line. It's there. You sometimes hit a dip to be able to go up again, and I think it was that kind of happened his senior year. Obviously, Clemson saw something in him that he was already on board his junior year. And, his senior year, he fought it a little bit, but you don't know. I mean, maybe he was working on specific things that they had already told him at Clemson that they wanted him to start working on. Maybe he was trying to learn to, cut balls different ways or different things. You never know what's going on there, but certainly it's, he recognized that it's a marathon, and you look at him now and the trajectory he's on, it's a really good one. And he's bulked up. Man, he looks really strong. I saw on the North and South Instagram some photos of him, and he's big, strong kid. You can tell he's hitting a little longer these days. But you mentioned when you have to play extra holes. Jackson Van Paris, the number one seed, he won his match this morning 6-4. So he only had to play 14 holes. Swanson had to play 23, and then they had to run it right back. So, taking him to the wire 2-1, I would say is a pretty good effort. After
that's a very respectable. That is
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. With the number one seed who is from Pinehurst, so presumably he's got a lot of local course knowledge. But good stuff there. We'll keep tabs on the golf as the summer rolls on. But Wes, you have on the rundown the Cooperstown Reflection. If you didn't catch the Lowco Diamond Dudes, we talked a lot about our trip to Cooperstown last week with the Bluffton Waves. Had Mark Renix on, longtime official here in Beaufort County, who was our official that we took up with us. You have to bring an umpire with you, which is kind of a neat aspect of it, because the umpire, Mark, came by our cabin every night and to check on us and tell us good game or get them tomorrow. If it was, we only had one rough day where we went 0-2, but it was great to have him there, have a friendly face, around camp. And it was really cool. Great experience. I mean, just a dream experience. I've missed it all week since we've gotten home, and I've been thinking about it constantly. Just being in the camp with the boys in the baseball village there for the whole week and being able to go out and play baseball and see our families, but then go back in there and let them just kind of be kids and run around and play wiffle ball and trade pins. And we all came away with great pin collections, but nobody got the pink Billy Goats. That was the Powder Springs Billy Goats had the pink alternate pin that was all the rage. We had one in our cabin, but it got away. But we finished up 4-3. won our first bracket game and then lost the second one, and felt like we, really competed well, and everyone had a unforgettable best week of your life experience. And that's the biggest takeaway is I think we came together more as a team than we ever have, and have a greater appreciation and love for one another and for the game.
That's what it's all about. I mean, you talk about these memories that you make as a father and as a coach, and those are things you're going to remember for a lifetime. And same with Truman, and same with all these kids. It's a baseball mecca. I mean, you go over to Cooperstown, you get a tour of the Hall of Fame. We mentioned about those powerful videos that they had about the famous players, and then just going through and seeing all the history. It's inspiring, and then being able to it's a magical experience. I mean, it felt a little like Disney World kind of magic, being part of this kind of special, thing you get to do not very often, but it just, it has those vibes as something that you're going to appreciate for a while, and just so much magic, especially when you hit those balls over the fence out of the ballpark, when those balls disappear, like you said. But just, walking to that opening ceremony, just the magic that was a part of that, seeing 70 plus teams all together, kids from all over the country. You mentioned a team from Hawaii. It's just really cool to see this generation of baseball players come together and celebrate this amazing game, and take so much out of it. Not only are you being able to improve, going up against some of the best talent in the country, through some quality teams, some from a lot from the South, from Florida, Georgia area, but good Lord, what an amazing experience for these kids, for yourself, for the umpires. I'm sure you, as you mentioned, you'd love to come back and be an umpire at some point, but just so much amazing memories to take away, all the and not even just playing baseball, the camaraderie, the interactions with the kids on and off the field.
Yeah. That was the best part.
Yeah.
The games are a blur. I mean, I remember things from the games. Obviously, I could probably tell you the score of every game, but that's not what I'll remember. It's really not. I mean, it's just all the funny little things and all the things that you learn about the kids when you get to be around them constantly for 5-6 days. Like you get to know them on a different level, and you feel like. And I feel like that helps you coach them better too. You understand their personalities. You understand what makes them tick. And I mean, it was phenomenal. And the setting is just incredible. I mean, they've got the enclosed stadiums. You feel like the whole time people kept saying, I feel like I'm in a baseball movie, like an old-timey baseball movie. The whole thing feels like an old-timey baseball movie. And the best analogy I've come up with is that I'm convinced that when the guys from the Field of Dreams walk into the cornfield, they walk out the other side into that place as 12-year-old boys. And they're just in this paradise where baseball is the only thing that matters. But everybody is in it for the love of the game. Like everybody was friends in there. And I told you on the other show about AB saying about our friends, our rivals turned friends from Dry Pond up in Denver, North Carolina. He said, Coach, I thought Dry Pond was going to be our mortal enemies, but they turned out to be our best friends. and that's really what it's all about. There's a kid from Powder Springs, from the Billy Goats, who traded phone numbers with a kid from Hawaii, and he was excited that they were going to be friends. And, we played kids from Utah and talked to them days later, like, hey, and they were like, oh man, we played terrible against you. And we were like, yeah, we weren't going to say nothing, but we kind of ran you. And they were like, yeah, you had that dude throwing 70, and there was no hard feelings. Like everybody was buddies. And it was a beautiful thing. And then to think about the scale of it too, there were 78 teams there. There were some really quality teams. They do it 9 weeks in a row. There are 88 teams checking in the day we checked out. It is an unbelievable operation that they run. And just, I mean, the visionaries who put that thing together, it's really special. If you got kids younger than 12 that play baseball or have a love for baseball, start planning now. Get a travel team together, start getting ready, and go when you're 12, because it is a phenomenal experience.
For a baseball kid. I mean, there's nothing better.
I mean, there was one time we were standing there playing catch, and we had an even number, so I didn't really have to warm anybody up. But we had 13, but one couldn't throw, so I didn't usually have to warm anybody up. But he decided to warm up left-handed, so we needed one more. So I jumped in with Truman, and we're playing catch with the mountains in the background, and I'm just thinking how cool this is. And then Charlie Nelson turns to me and goes, "Coach, I love playing catch in the mountains." And I said, "Dude, I was just thinking that." It was just really cool.
Yeah, and I saw this graphic today about all these Cooperstown alums that made it to the World Series, like Kyle Tucker, Dansby Swanson, Kyle, a bunch of these guys who.
Right, Bryce Harper played there 3 years in a row. Yeah. 10, 11, and 12. Not many guys are good enough to go up there and hang at 10, I'll tell you that. But Bryce Harper certainly was. But, man, we saw some monster tanks. Ooh, the thin air up there, and they don't draw any batter's boxes. They let the batter stand all over the plate if he wants to and just hack away. But it was a hitter's paradise. So Truman was pretty pumped to – well, I was more pumped than he was, I think, to throw a 33-pitch complete game in hitter's paradise. That was pretty good. So luckily we scored enough runs to shorten it to 4 innings. But that's the other thing, no time limits. You either play 6 innings unless you hit the run rule of 12 after 4. And that was part of the cool – that was one of the coolest parts, is just setting that aside and you get inside that enclosed stadium and it feels like the only thing that's happening in the world is that game, and you lose track of time. And by the third day, I didn't know what day it was either. So it didn't matter. Just what time do we play baseball today? That's all that mattered. So it was an awesome time. And I'm still working on putting together some more video footage to kind of capture it. But it was a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at some of the photos of Cooperstown Dreams Park and just, against all those hills and just the scenery. I mean, it is, as you mentioned, Field of Dreams-esque in terms of, I mean, just you're looking around and it seems like it is a heavenly kind of environment. And man, I mean, I put myself in the shoes of one of those kids, stepping out. It's absolutely incredible. It's just an experience that, everybody's going to take with them for years and for generations. It's something you tell your kids about, and then something that, that is going to stay a part of you forever. And, it's you're not always going to remember you're not going to remember what your batting average is or how many wins you got in the end. It's all about the memories you made, the friends that you made, and just the overall atmosphere that you got to be a part of something special, writing your name down in a list of, just so many memorable teams and players that have had that similar experience as you are. And you're all woven together into this family, as we saw with all the amazing things that these teams did together, the opening ceremonies and just everybody being a part of this shared experience. That's what sports is all about. Sports are all about, really. And what a great example of it here at Cooperstown.
Hey, we're all now in the very crowded American Youth Baseball Hall of Fame. Every player and coach who goes through there is inducted. So it's very crowded in that hall. It's a big hall, but we're in it. We're in it now. Well, Wes, this is a fun show, man. Enjoyed talking with you, and good to chat with Alex Percival. Really excited what he's doing about what he's doing out in Hardyville next month, July 29th. Check out the Lowcountry Legacy Alumni Basketball Tournament. Going to be a good time, and get to see some former hoop stars from the Lowco back at it. Maybe some a little further past their prime than others, but it'll be a good time no matter what. I guarantee they'll put on a show. Thanks so much to our sponsors who make all this possible, and thanks to you for showing up to listen or watch. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. This is going to do it for this edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. Until next time, go Lowco. The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco!